How you doing, guys? This is Richie. All right, Absolute Batman Arkham M, #1. So this is a spin-off from the Absolute line. This shows the beginnings of the Arkham M asylum. And for those of you who know, these line of books is outside of the continuity of the regular Batman. This is a whole different universe. But I'm sure they're going to find a way to connect them somehow. But Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman. Love all three of them. They're excellent books. So, for those of you, I'm sure everybody knows, but Arkham is where all the criminals get housed and try to get treatment and kept away from society. It's a mental institution. So this begins, these are the writings of Dr. Amadeus Arkham. This is my confession. It holds secrets I will take with me to my grave. It's also a warning about the terrible evil I have unleashed upon the world, and a plea that you, reader, stop it before it's too late. Arkham Asylum, 1945. Knocking at the door, and this gentleman comes in. Now he wants to buy the property of Arkham Asylum. The old man is getting ready to sell. It's been on a downturn. Business hasn't been good. They're getting less and less inmates. So it's dwindling. And he begins to tell the potential buyer the story of how the place came to be. And it starts with his mom. In the Civil War. His father was in the Civil War, and they were waiting for him to come home, and she's watching out the window, and she thinks that's her husband. And they're all excited, the kids. Father was home. And she opens the door, and it's another soldier. And she's there with the bad news, or he's there with the bad news. He's got a letter, he hands it to her. She breaks down crying because it tells her he had been killed in a battle that took place after the Civil War was over. So she starts freaking out, but she grabs his gun, shoots the messenger, then starts shooting the kids, her children. Bam, bam, bam. And then when it gets to Dr. Arkham, she spares him and shoots herself. So already it's off to a really dark start. And the Absolute Batman line and all the lines of the Absolute line is very dark and gritty. So he says, why she chose to spare me that day, I will never know. And there's the poor little kid with his dead family. So he had a rough start right from the beginning. They throw him in an orphanage. And he spends his time there until he's 18. He leaves. And his dream is to open up a facility where he could care for people like his mother. Maybe find some type of cure, help them with their instabilities. And so he finds some land. But the land was built on like a ground where a lot of people were killed. But it was cheap, so he was able to get it. He said, in the beginning, Arkham was everything I wanted it to be. A good faculty, full of staff, and like-minded individuals, getting patients the help they desperately need. And here's some of the maniacs. If you get to Arkham, you're way out there. He says, my mother would be proud, I believed. Gotham man turns tragedy into triumph. So there's this one inmate. He was so vile and heinous, he won't even utter his name. We'll call him Jack Doe for the purpose of this journal. He was the type of inmate that threatened the very existence of Arkham. And so they're going back and forth. He's walking the potential buyer around. We're back to present day, and he said, I'd like donations to be anonymous. Look, I'm just going to hand this institution over to someone I know nothing about. So he wants to know about the potential buyer. The buyers ask him, have you had any children? And he says, no, but there was a time when this kid came to his door. He opens his door and the kid's full of blood. Now, this is way back at the beginning, covered in blood. They don't know whose blood it was. They don't know what's going on. They felt bad for the kid. They took him in, tried to help him. He tried to teach him. And it's going over and then even when he met Jack Doe, so the kid meets the most notorious criminal there. Jack was being punished for brutalizing yet another nurse. He taunted the boy, tried to get under his skin, ever a cruel joker, but still the boy remained undeterred. And he's got like one of them face masks on so he can't bite nobody. So a prison riot breaks out, and Jack Doe grabs the kid and holds a knife to his throat. But he lets the kid go. They beat the guy down. The kid is traumatized, supposedly. And they lock the guy back up. So he goes, I must give you credit, Dr. Arkham. Ups and downs, you still managed to keep things afloat, even after the most infamous incident of all. And he tries to say, like, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, of course you do. I did my homework. Tell me about the breakout. 1886, it was all due to a damned careless disorderly. So they got out. And they killed like a good portion of the inmates, the staff. He released a number of his fellow inmates and they made their way down to the furnace room, deciding against confronting the armed guards at the front doors. Whatever the case, they quietly worked through the night. So they dug their way out from the furnace room. And boom, all these maniacs are on the loose again, all at once. He goes, I knew Jack had done it. I could almost hear him laughing, that man who loved nothing more than to torch the world. And then he stops and he thinks the kid. So he runs back to the kid's bedroom, and sure enough, there's blood on the kid's bed, and the kid's gone. My son was lost to me forever. Tomorrow's a new page. That was their words of encouragement to each other. Tomorrow's always a new page, no matter how bad things get. I never forgave myself for the breakout. A record of my own shame. So he made a room filled with all the details of the criminals and what had happened that night. And he believes one of them turned out to be Jack the Ripper, but he's not sure. It's like, I think he's a little wrong on that. And if you've been reading Absolute Batman, you probably know that it kind of, you have to read it. I don't want to get too deep into that. The timeline fits the MO. He says, yeah, doctor, I'm aware of your works on the subject. Speaking of which, the furnace room, I'd like to see it. So he takes the buyer down to the furnace room. The wall where it's re-bricked, this is where they escaped from, right? He goes, yeah. He said, then why is this wall re-bricked as well? And the doctor hadn't been down there since it had happened. And he was like, oh, I don't know why. So the buyer leans in and whispers something to him that stopped me cold. But before I could respond, he goes, you don't have to see me out, doctor. I love the place. Couldn't sleep that night. He goes down into the basement. He unbricks the wall that he didn't realize it was bricked. And so I woke and wrote these words, this desperate cry to anyone who might hear it. I shall put this journal in the post as soon as I'm done. And then he throws the teddy bear from the kid into the furnace. He goes, but before I do that, I will go down into the dark one more time to prove what I already know. I shall remove the bricks, find what I know to be there, the horrible truth. The truth that might be my legacy, but this place will not be. Next thing you know, he sets fire to all of Arkham. burns it down with everybody in it, all the inmates, everything. And so I send this journal to you, Captain Flass of the Gotham City Police Department. I only pray it reaches you in time to stop him, the man who laughs from the dark. So the man in the dark got the book, got the report before the cops could see it. And it says, Arkham now. Not Jack Doe, but him, the boy, the one I once called my son. So it was the boy that led that whole breakout, all those killings, and split out, letting everybody out. And Jack Doe, he was behind the other wall that was bricked in with a with a shiv in his neck. Toothbrush sharpened up. And there's his dead carcass. And on, it says, tomorrow's another page. He left a little note for the doctor. So he like psychologically crushed this doctor. Little kid. Tomorrow's a new page. The boy did it all just to make a fool of me. My hopes, my beliefs. He's the monster. The one laughing in the dark, always laughing. The man called Jack Grimm. Now, Jack Grimm is the absolute version of the Joker. Signed Amadeus Arkham. And he just laughs. So he keeps a picture of Arkham burning because when he was a child, that's what he did. He got the doctor to burn the place down. He like, I don't know, it's just crazy. So now he owns it, and they perform all these crazy experiments there. Fast forward, they're watching a video of the Batman, absolute Batman, just crushing people, criminals. And he's talking to somebody. The absolute Joker is talking. Are we playing with our food here? What's next? He goes, I got my plans. If I've been honest enough, sir, I've seen enough. Enough to see he's really no threat. I can handle him easy. He goes, I know you can. Now here's some of the other criminals that are going to be coming up. Hugo Strange. So with that in mind, he releases Man-Bat and Poison Ivy. I thought Poison Ivy was an absolute Wonder Woman. The gas that's in that suit, but it turns out no. Absolute Poison Ivy's been locked up in Arkham Asylum, along with the Man-Bat. None of this was necessary. Don't worry, I'll get your chance soon. You'll get your chance soon enough. Everything in due time. My Deathstroke. So boom, there's the absolute universe Deathstroke. So that's coming. I thought this was a great issue, man. Everybody went crazy for this. Even the regular A covers are expensive. I have multiples of all the covers, so for cover price, I think they're selling for like $15, $25 on eBay. People are going nuts over them. But another exceptional story from the absolute universe. And this was written by Snyder Thierry and art by Hickson and Stevens. Good book. Definitely gives you some more background on the absolute universe. Well worth it. Probably the best stuff in comics today. All right, so thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.